Hello baby gangsters, this is Calvin, also known as Rummer, and this is my first ever playthrough of What Remains of Edith Finch. And we have a very depressing room around here. Obviously, like, you know, Calvin is gone. And the idea of his memory, though, is always preserved here. Which, as someone pointed out in the comment section, it's very true. Over here with Sam would have to, like, keep waking up every morning without Calvin in this room. Let's check out some stuff. So I think we can open this up. Or it looks like that anyway. I haven't played this since like, since...
And that he never talked about him.
Thursday. So it's been a bit of time.
I didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Man, look at this. And they set this up that it'll always be kind of like preserved for him as well. What's this?
How I Want to Remember My Brother.
No.
By Sam Finch.
No.
The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
No. And is that a cast on his foot? Wait, we're swinging on the swing. Oh, the cast is so, I don't know what it is, but the cast is so adorable, especially when it's on like a kid.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
Wow. Crazy phrasing. The music's beautiful. Like, and that's something kids would think about, right? I'm sorry, the fact that they're letting us just swing on a swing set is such a beautiful thing. It stopped me in my tracks for a second, guys. It's such a great, like, little scene. A little bandage as well. Oh, there we go. Look at
At
that.
Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't.
Oh,
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
he wants to be an astronaut. Man, this is heartbreaking. He's not going to go over the fence, is he?
Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
And he said he was so like, if he wanted to do something, he'd do it.
Was impossible.
It's so dangerous
Maybe
as
if I hadn't
well.
said that.
Oh, you have a cast on your foot, buddy. Oh no.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
This is so...
Maybe he'd still be here.
The fact that we're watching this happen, that we're making it happen, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and we know there's a danger happening. We're powerless to stop it. Holy hell. I'm getting, like, nauseous looking at this. No. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
The voice acting is amazing, by the way. That's so sad. But the way he's saying it is, I want to remember my brother as someone who, like, once he made up his mind, he's stuck with it.
Familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Yeah. But doesn't it really feel that way? That's what he was saying. Like, I don't want to remember my brother as, you know, how he died. But, like, the way he died was his determined spirit was, like, once he decided something was going to happen and he was going to do something, he was going to do it. And it hurts my heart quite a bit because the way they directed that scene was that they made us as players do it. They made us as players end the life of this character.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
And she roped it off. Which, by the way, is understandable how you would want to preserve something like this. I just think that we can also, like, look at it from Sam's perspective. That would have just been horrible to look at. And again, he probably didn't want to get rid of it either.
At 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Right. Too heartbreaking. Like, there's so many, like, real and understandable emotions coming from every character we're hearing from, right? How do we get... I wonder how we get Sam's picture in the book as well. Because what we heard there was like, yes, he died doing something crazy, but that's the way he remembers his brother, as someone who was so determined that once he decided something was going to happen, it was going to happen. And it was almost an admiration there as well, right, for his brother, I feel like. But the direction of that scene is crazy. Making you do something like that is like, it's really like well done, but also just heartbreaking. Because I felt that. I felt nauseous. I felt like everything, like, I was like, oh, I can't, like, he's gonna, like, we're gonna hurt this kid. Even though we're not hurting the kid, it's just showing a memory of how it happened. Look at these secret passages. Where's this gonna lead to now? And another handle. Did we get enough ideas about... Before I leave, I see there's a pumpkin at the end of the road there. Before I leave, I want to make sure I get every nook here because we don't have a drawing for Sam yet. This whole room, by the way, it hits me in the heart. It really does. I don't see anything else that's clickable. At least from my perspective. Let's keep going. These little nooks and like these passageways are crazy to me.
The passages
music
were
is so
a pretty
good.
tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Smaller hands and bellies. The writing's fantastic. Is this like a little shortcut? Back to the original spaces here? I would never have thought that was a passageway, right? When I first came by Barbara's room, there's no way in hell you would look at this and be like, that's a passageway. And even like the line, he was tended to fly that day. He saw his brother, right? As like his passing almost as his spirit almost like, you know, flying, right? As almost like he got to do what he always wanted to do. And I feel like it's like, would you say that's kind of both things? I see it as kind of a very beautiful way of looking back on his brother because he obviously cared. Oh, look at this. I didn't even notice this.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
I see it as a very beautiful way to remember your brother, but also, do you guys think it's like a little bit of like a way to cope as well? Like, it's stunning writing. It's stunning writing. So like it's hard not to like just see it as something beautiful as well as being very sad. It's both those things, isn't it? To me anyway.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a
Man.
child star.
I'm very much... Oh, Swan Lake. Seattle Battle Company presents... Battle Company. The Battle Company presents Swan Lake. I hope I didn't miss something for Sam. Because I really, 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 really don't want to miss out on stuff like that. If I did, I can go back. If I can go back, lads. Lads is universal, by the way. My patrons sometimes think it's funny that I say lads. It's basically a universal term for any gender, by the way. It doesn't mean just men. Lads. I can go back, lads. Lads, you want me to go back, lads? I can go back if you want me to go back. I can go, no problem. I'll go back, no problem, lads. My friend Bigfoot. These are really cool. Like the environmental storytelling they have here as well. Introducing Barbara Finch. Memorabilia. Memorabilia is still very big, but like this lunch boxes were like huge, right? And actually, like, legitimately, they still are. School bags and lunch boxes are gigantic. In fact, the most popular school bag in the world right now, I believe, is still Pikachu. Apparently, like, well, Pokemon in general, Pikachu's the most popular Pokemon of the bunch in terms of
Never thought
school
about
bags.
how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Crazy. Barbara Street. Popcorn still is it real? Happy birthday. Oh my god. How is that still standing? Cakes back in the day were built different. The constant memory of your stardom though is pretty crazy. Like, sorry, I'm just can't get over how pretty some of the parts in the houses. These these curtains are beautiful with this window. Dreadful stories. Guest starring Barbara Finch.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Wait, so they wrote stories about her death as well?
Old Jack here with
No
another
way.
ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm
That's
calling it
insane.
The surprise ending of Barbara Finch.
I am so impressed that they're doing this. They have the voiceover for it.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream.
Right.
Now
So it was like her
at 16,
signature.
She was all washed up. A has-been.
Jesus, talking about a 16-year-old like this?
Break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Oh, so it wasn't the same.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate.
Is that so smart having a fan? What?
Now that was a great
Oh.
scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency
Oh my
room.
god.
So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
That's so rough.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
No. No, 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 no. Do not do this.
You're right!
That's horrifying.
Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret powers.
I keep it locked. If I heard a noise there, I keep it locked. Call the police.
The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe.
Interesting.
I'll be back in a sec.
It's also telling us how to play the game. But what was the noise?
Hadn't returned.
No!
So Barbara went to look for him.
Call the police, please.
On cue. She reached for the music box.
Are they going to make us do it? So they're probably showing us how to open this door as well.
The key. She listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
This is so scary. This is legitimately so scary. We're moving in the comic. Oh my god, this is so impressive. But it's so scary at the same time. They're playing the Halloween theme? What? You got the rights to this? What? No!
She found Rick's crutch and imagined
Get back up.
First.
Go back upstairs. Please go back upstairs. No way. How do we swing? Okay, we swing like that. Okay. This is so scary. I didn't think they'd be playing the actual... This better be a prank, Rick. This better be a... Oh my god, we can actually hit the cans. Rick, I swear to God. We can hear everything. Rick, I swear to God. Oh no. There's like a blinker light out there. What the hell?
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill,
What?
who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
This is so creative, but I'm terrified. Like, this is... Oh, there's blood all over the saw. He ate his family, though. Disgusting. I'll be honest with you, right? If I had that basement locked... Oh my god. I am hiding for the rest of the night. I am calling the police. There's no way I'm going down here. But then again, she's probably worried about her freaking boyfriend.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
They're not letting me go back. They're not letting me go back. Honestly, I'm running over and I'm closing the fridge. Stop.
Oh dear.
Was it actually Rick?
just trying to scare you to help you
No.
find your scream.
I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
She should be
Then
furious. That's
act
awful.
furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused.
Oh, stop it.
and you-
Yes, tell him to leave.
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show.
Wait, did you just realize, guys, like, okay, we'll talk in a second.
Barbara!
No.
Walter? What's going on?
Please
up
stop
there?
scaring me. No!
Okay, I'm coming up. But if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
I'm in like very spooky mode right now. No, I'm so impressed with how this is, guys. Like, I just want to say before we go any further, I'm so impressed with what they're doing here. It's still pretty spooky. And also, he deserved to get a slap with the crutch as well, by the way. I love the way I paused, though, and I was like, oh, I have to hit him. So really, it was a startling thing where I was like, looking at him for a second, and then I was like, whack. So it wasn't really a startling thing at all. So impressive. The different stylings, whether it be like the stuff with the swing that was so heartbreaking, but like, beautiful at the same time, and then you had the flying as well with Molly. They're playing this music again. Halloween, by the way, the 1970s one is my favorite horror game of all time, horror movie of all time. So like, I never thought I'd ever be scared of the music again because I've heard it so many times. But I am. And look, they're giving you a preview. What you're gonna have to do: look under the bed, look through the curtains. I never thought I'd be ever scared of this song ever again. Stop. I never thought I'd be afraid of this song ever again. But now that I'm like in this, it's horrifying. I think they need to make a Halloween game.
Walter, are you there?
This is literally us.
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
That's so creepy.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall with a steel hook for a hand.
He's still
Residents are
here.
urged to lock all doors and windows
He's
and
not
notify
here,
the
is he?
police of
We're not
any
actually-
suspicious activity.
Are you serious? That's how she died?
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and
Or is this just a dramatic? This is dramatic interpretation.
yes, he was quite smashing.
This is horrifying, isn't it? To even like interpret someone's death like this is so crazy.
Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's gotta be another way out of here.
Let's try the window, maybe. Wait, that window looks more. Oh my god! Wait, this is the passageway we went through as well.
She played her part beautifully.
I don't like how they were talking about like a real person, even in like a story form like this. We can get on the roof here, can't we?
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Wait, so we're going out the door?
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grown.
Whack him. Whack him, whack him. No, we should. Oh my god, yes! Wait, it's not someone else playing a prank, is it?
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over.
This is so scary the way they're narrating this as well. By the way, it doesn't matter if this was a prank, by the way. You do not do this to someone. You deserve 52,000 slaps if you do this. Like, if you end up dying in this situation if you played a prank like this... Oh, he's gone. Oh my god, typical Michael Myers fashion.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Stop. This is so well done. I am so scared right now. I'm coming.
was dying to speak to you.
The narrator's so cool, though.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
What? Barbara. Wait. No, that's so scary. That's not right. That's so scary. What?
The monsters had come to
because she's back with this admiration.
She saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous.
Wait.
Final breath, Barbara Finch
Stop.
performance of her life. I wasn't there.
That makes me feel icky. I feel so icky.
Barbara was
It's such a disgusting way to even describe it.
She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night.
Are you serious? They got him too?
And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard. But
He's probably frozen with fear.
as for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her.
No.
Her ear.
Oh, what the hell?
What I call a real eerie tale.
Now, okay, the reason why that's so icky to me is that, like, it's like an invasion of privacy. Like, I know all of that was all horrible, all the ear on the back, right? So I'm guessing that this was like an
Edie told me
interpretation
all
or
Barbara wanted
retelling.
was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
That she's famous now because she was when she died she became famous. Is that what we're saying? That she's more famous in death than she ever even was in life. But can I say really quickly as well, the reason why that those type of things are so disgusting to me, right, is that like the idea of like she wanted to be a star, right, and like the way the narrator was like describing it, like, oh, like she's finally gonna be remembered forever as a, you know, as like, and she knew, and she was so happy that the monsters are. That's what freaks me out. It makes me feel so icky. You know what I mean? Like that she's like, oh, that they interpret her as smiling when the monsters came. So I'm wondering if this is an interpretation of her death, and she actually was killed by like a home invader of some kind, and that's what made her be famous in the end. But since they didn't know who did it and they couldn't find it, or they blamed it on the boyfriend or something like that, maybe there's a bunch of stories that happened since then. Possibly that like have like been reinterpreted. You know the way like when it's when you have so little evidence about like a killer or a real story, like people will make up like a mountain of like different stories that they can tell about a like an actual murder, I suppose. And maybe that's the case. Like people start going like, oh, what if she was killed by this? Was she killed by that? In this case, like it's just like a very dramatic, mythical interpretation of how this character died. And since she's already from like an unlucky family that is famous for being unlucky, I assume that like that was easier to like write upon that as well, because it's like, well, of course she died. She was unlucky. All of it's very, very scary though. It's very scary. It's a really hard thing to think about, isn't it? Because even though it was a comic book and it was so well done, by the way, like that's such like an amazing way to like to do your art, and they're so good at this in this game, of like showing you different ways to tell a story through the eyes of a character. Making us play through a horror comic, didn't expect that whatsoever. But it still makes you feel icky, right? It still makes you feel icky that Barbara was so sad about being told she was washed up. She was reminded probably constantly of the fact that she was famous from all this memorabilia, all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. You go to the bathroom at night and you come back. Look what you see. Look at all the stuff you see on the way back from the bathroom. I was famous. I was famous. I was a star. I was a star.
It's funny.
I was famous.
All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. The game's like, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. But you know what I mean? Like you're looking at this, I was famous. I was famous. If this is an interpretation of her character, then I think like, yeah, it makes sense that Edie would think like, okay, she would be happy now.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Because she's famous, you know? I'm gonna check the room one more time of with Sam. Also really cool that they got like they licensed the John Carpenter music. Pretty crazy. I didn't expect them to do that. Because that's what it is. It's that was the original Babysitter Horror Story, right? I don't know. That whole sequence made me feel a bunch of things. I was exhilarated, scared. I was impressed by how they were telling the story, but I was also like feeling icky. It made me feel like, oh man, like this family is not only unlucky.
Was right about there being a key inside the music
I know.
box
I'm
near the
sorry. I'm
basement.
sorry. I'm sorry, game. The game's been very nice though, and pushing me towards this though. Now that like again, we were talking about how beautiful this house is, but it's actually massive as well. I could not live in a massive house. More places for the murderer to hide. Oh, did we check this?
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
And the ickiness just comes from the idea of like not only like someone invading your house, but I think it's also the idea of like this place is a lot scarier now all of a sudden. Right? All of a sudden I am like, oh. Stay away from that basement. But the ickiness is also the fact that like that they would write her as being happy that in death she's gonna be more famous than in life. This is truly a very unlucky family. The silence is deafening, right? It's crazy. And this is what, like, we were talking about uncomfortable silence, right? There's nothing. At least nothing I can hear right now. There's some outside sounds. Yeah, there are. But I'm talking, I guess, in here. It's a very quiet. Sven. This is probably what we're going to learn now. Let's make sure we're, like, not missing anything. The ambient sounds are pretty nice, though. Ambient sounds.
Mom said the basement was off limits. Unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Huh? Oh, I was like, she's just going to give you a tetanus. I was like, no, she might cut herself on something. I was like, that's pretty cruel. Time for your tetanus shot. No, Mom, I'm sorry I stayed out too late. Too late. Time for your tetanus shot. Like, it sounded like it was a sick punishment or something, but it's like, no, it's like, you could get a tetanus
I saw
shot.
Edie sneak down
Or
to the
need one.
basement once, carrying packages.
Yeah? I should say today as well, guys, usually on Monday I have less time for the Let's Play video just on Mondays. But we will still go to around the 50-minute mark or plus that. Just to let you guys know. Well, you guys see the video
I
anyway.
thought maybe she was hiding presents.
And that's so funny. They have like their...
Turned out she
Whoa.
was hiding a lot more than that.
Yeah, so again, the childlike wonder, right? We see it in a lot of situations here compared to like when they're older. The way Molly was describing things. The way that... I might, if I can... Sorry, wrong button here. I might, if I can, like up the brightness. If I can, just like one notch. No! I was like, what? Just so you guys can see a little bit better, because if I can't see right now, you guys for sure can't see, right? So I might actually up the brightness even once more, because if I can't see very well, then like you guys can see, can see even worse than I can. Yeah, and it still looks good. It looks really good, actually, even better even. But yeah, like the childlike wonder that like is in Molly, when she was jumping from tree to tree in her mind, the idea of like Calvin thinking we able to fly, And now here as well, you're talking about like how different it is from your childhood to your adulthood. When now, like, you were looking down at someone carrying those boxes and you think, man, Christmas presents, right? It has to be. It's so interesting to me. What's in here, though? Oh, dear Lord. What were you doing down here? Can we turn on these lights?
I
you
remember
can.
asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
Walter was the kid hiding under the bed, by the way.
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Whoa. Now, again, please, if you guys can like explain it to me as well, I don't mean to sound bad. If it is if it's an interpretation of the story, maybe like he actually did hide under the bed in some situation, please let me know that as well. Because my interpretation of that is, well, for any kid, like I would never feel bad. I would never be like, oh, that kid, F them, they should have done something. But that kid's probably going to say that to themselves forever.
If there's a pattern in all these stories,
Tasty beets?
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Wow. Nobody in the family has ever really extended out past the bad luck or the stuff in their family. Is this like a model train? Or like the makings of one? Walter. So that's going to be the notebook. What's over here? The notebook is usually what we find out more about them, right? It's a fake backdrop. I guess maybe to keep you a little bit sane. A little bit if you're working down here for hours on end. The idea of like seeing like almost psychologically seeing a landscape like this from here might be nice. If you have some air though. This bunker is crazy though. What's this? Oh, is this another way to get out of here?
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
What? He's just been down here for
On
30
that first
years.
Day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
Shaking. So he was doing like survival stuff down here. He's eating canned food.
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
So it is like a bomb shelter of some kind.
Having a schedule, living for today.
Those peaches.
I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
Imagine living thinking that you could... Oh, they're doing a repetitive thing here. Look at this. Imagine thinking, going through your life, living
Even
in a bunker,
monster
thinking you could die any
on the
day.
other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Love the way they're doing the text here as well.
And then one day, everything just stopped.
Oh, the shaking just stopped?
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting.
What are we talking about here, Walter?
Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
This has been the longest week he's had as well.
I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
This family, when they said this family is unlucky, I was like, superstition. This family is going through a lot. A lot. And like 30 years down here. Greetings from all these little different postcards as well. I have to leave while I still can. I hope you guys can help me with some of the interpretations as well. Don't be afraid to correct me. It will help me greatly going into the future parts of this game as well. What's that, tomato? Little game as well. It's a cereal, okay. The jam as well again. What is he talking
I know
about?
it's out there somewhere.
I know it's out there. What does he mean?
Whatever killed Barbara.
So what he says, because they only found a bit of Barbara, he's thinking that whatever this is, could this be psychological? Or is this a real thing, I wonder? And Molly. So something killed them?
And Calvin.
But we know Calvin died from jumping, right? Hold on.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it
Very
kills me.
cool. They're doing like the swinging of the hammer as the swing of the text back into the screen. Very interesting.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
What?
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
Yeah. Eating tinned peaches and peas for
I don't mind if
30
I only have a year
years?
left. Or a month. Or a single week.
Man. The day life feels different when you know he's been down there for 30 years. Right?
I'd be happy with one new day.
Holy
I can
hell.
already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh my god. He got hit by a train. He got hit by a freaking train. He found the light at the end of the tunnel, and it was a freaking freight train coming his way.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
All this time. This is a family that's definitely scarred by the past quite a bit, because, you know, when high emotions and sadness is taking over, I guess, like an entire group of people, a lot of the abnormal stuff, like, it doesn't become normal, but becomes like acceptable because people are just trying to like get through their day. And I think a lot of people, especially if they're feeling like, you know, all the stuff, like with the stuff with Barbara and Molly and Calvin and stuff like this, you could interpret like that way, kind of being like, well, like, no one's going to bother Walter because they'd rather him be safe down there than like anything else, right? Maybe. And I think when you're going through like traumatic experiences, I think it's quite normal maybe to like accept the abnormal. Especially when everyone's dealing with their own
I'm sure
stuff
my
in
mom
their own
was
way.
trying to protect me.
And now she's trying to interpret this as like my mom was trying to protect me. It's beautiful animations in this game too. Walter's such an interesting character. They all are. Like, no wonder people would be
Maybe she
interested in
was
this
afraid I'd
family.
end up like Walter.
Right. So there wasn't, obviously they knew Walter would, like, again, he was like, wow, he became a grown man. What's he
But if
going to
she
do? What are they
never
going to do?
told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Yeah. So if we talk about, I said like there's an acceptance from like maybe Edie or maybe some other family members, but it's clear her mother didn't want her involved in any of this and definitely did see it as abnormal. As you would.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive.
Interesting line. Because if she says that's like, you know, it's like burying a secret that, oh my god, it's a different vibe as well, isn't it? Like burying something that like still
Now
alive
that there's
is...
only one of us left. Or maybe 2.
What? I suppose like all those people that died.
I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself.
So just to finish my thought, the idea of burying something still alive, I think like very clear that I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is interpretation, but like she's saying obviously like, you know, that like burying these secrets that like almost don't need to be secret, that, you know, you could probably help someone with maybe as well. I don't know, maybe like I don't know.
And found out what happened to everyone else.
But how are you feeling now?
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem.
The stories.
Maybe we believed so much in a family curse,
Yes.
we made it real.
Music is absolutely beautiful. So it's the idea that like you bought into this idea of this family. So you did get hit by the train, obviously, of this family curse, that even like this story started to sound real, because if everyone else like sees you as the luckiest family in the world, it's hard not to believe it at this stage too. And since everyone was writing stories like this as well, or everyone heard the stories about their own family, what's true and what's not true, you know?
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
She's writing her own one as well. Yeah, that's what she's doing, just like the rest of the family. Look at this.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
That's not a good way to look at it. Don't bury to something that's alive. Remember?
But I thought you should know about your family.
Wait. Who's she saying?
And the history you're a part of.
Me? So I guess who she's telling the story to is as another member of the family. And she wanted to find out the full history, so whoever she's talking to, she doesn't want them to be clouded at all.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
I mean, yeah. I'm just trying to piece together whatever I can.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
So Molly believed that she became those animals, even though she was probably hallucinating over the fact that like she was eating berries and toothpaste. Walter believed that there was a monster that killed Barbara. And the only retelling of a story of what happened to Barbara that we have is a comic book. It's all stories. Amazing stuff. Truly amazing.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness,
Wow.
any of it seems possible.
This is incredible writing. The fact that you instantly know what she means. She's saying that like because this house that was eating her alive and that she didn't want to see again, right? Holds so many of those memories. And all those stories are starting to seem plausible because how can one place have so much unluckiness? And you look at the house and it's like, yeah, this is the unlucky house. This is the house that I grew up in that gave me that bad feeling. And again, she's starting to believe all those stories because why not? All the, you know, like this is the interpretation we have. Wait, is this the swing area? It is. Oh my god. Very sad. So he would have flown off here. Yeah, he had no chance. They made it seem like he flew into the air, right? That was the last frame they had, but he's landing on rocks. It's no chance whatsoever. Yeah, and by the way, I want to make it clear, I don't fully understand the story either yet, but I'm trying to interpret line by line. So then at least like even we get something wrong, which I know for a fact I've gotten so many things wrong in my interpretation. But that's why I also have you guys, and that's why we have the rest of the game.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
The writing, man, it's so true. Of course you'd be feeling that way. You're surrounded by stories about crazy deaths, about all your family constantly like dying.
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
And she seems kind of bitter about it as well, right? A little bit bitter. This is amazing. This is so amazing. Because like I feel like sometimes I'll interpret something and then like, you know, she'll explain it then herself a little bit because, oh, there's a cemetery. Because like she's saying like as well, like it's like, there's so much death in my family that like, why wouldn't I not only believe these stories or start to believe these stories or people would start to believe these stories, but also at the same time, like it becomes so normal. Even reading these stories, it's like, okay, this is how Barbara died.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but
Tell us, please.
the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Is it because you're so used to humans dying more than animals? Which again, no one probably is in life, right?
3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Lucy, Daisy, Charlie, Tucker, Coco, Zoe, Furpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy Jr., Zerpy. Very childlike names for this stuff. Oliver, Bob, Christopher, Shatsy. It's a really, really interesting story.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly. The cat. They believed that she was the cat, right? They're almost making supernatural stories about themselves in a way, Calvin Finch. He was 11, right? And he wanted to fly. She was 10. 10 and 11, man. That's not even a tenth of your life. Sven Finch. I'm not even going to do the math on that one. I know I could, but I'm not going to stop to do it. Edith Finch. This music is so pretty. Look at the land over there as well. Edith Finch. 2010. Walter Finch. 2005. He lived for a while. Barbara Finch. So she died when she was 16, was it? That's rough. All the deaths are rough, by the way. All of them are rough, but like, there's something so rough about seeing the cat, seeing the star. It almost seems like with Walter here as well. Oh my god, a tunnel with the person inside of it. I mean, it's beautiful because it represents him like wanting that new day and wanting that new life, and that's probably what they read. He wants to get that new life. He wants to have that one more day. Can we go through any further? But it's still not easy to see. And you see with this stuff as well. The book for Edie. Sven had the workshop. Calvin loved to fly. Molly, they saw her as a cat after she died. And in the start, they kind of kept to their stories, right? About themselves.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
This is also stunning. Getting a view of this as well. Hope you're having a good time playing Splatoon.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Yeah?
Edie said she dreamed
Wow.
about the old house every night.
Is that the house that sank? It seems to be, right? I was thinking, did that let me walk off this? I think that's the house that sank. Remember what the other guy had?
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand.
Okay.
But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Now, am I wrong in saying that, there's...
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Right. More dead people as well. Is she saying that it was easier to see Edie's side, who probably wanted the stories to keep going, maybe? And her mother, who wanted nothing to do with this, I suppose.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Yeah. And that's her mother, I think she's talking about? Milton.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Lewis Finch. The crown on the head. Will they get anything from the crown if you go over to it? Maybe not.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along.
Do you think so?
For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Maybe she wanted you to be more mature as well. Because there's a lot here. Like, if I was a kid, I would not comprehend all the stuff that's happening. Yes, the stories might have helped a little bit, right? Like, because they are stories, and they probably would be able to. You might be able to comprehend them a little bit, but like as you got older, those stories, you just fall for the stories, then, right? The stories would be everything more than the actual truth. At least that's the way I see it, anyway.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Huh? Did we reveal that already? It's been a few days. I haven't played since Thursday. Did we reveal that already? Maybe we have. But, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. You know, obviously it's not like we're not never shaming anyone for having a freaking baby, but I just think it's a big deal because having a baby is a task. It's something I could never comprehend how tough it is. So like, I hope she's doing okay. I really do. This is an interesting story. My interpretation is all over the place right now, but I do think it's about maybe like finding out the truth amongst a sea of stories about her family. And even like the people in the family bought into their own stories about themselves, I feel like, as well. But we're getting some really sad stuff. Like the Calvin story is very sad. The Barbara stuff is very, very sad to me. The Molly stuff is even sad to me. The Walter stuff is sad. It's a very sad, unlucky family. And I can't wait to piece together the rest of the information and get more on that, to be honest. Because I really feel like we're getting like a very sad view of a very unlucky family. But maybe like that bought into the stories too much. I hope we get to learn more about her mother, right? And things like that. But thank you guys so much for watching this. Thank you guys for supporting the series. Sorry the video's a little bit short. It's not that short. It's not that short. Thank you so much to Tyfire2, Jamie Bull, Janet Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicitas Felix, Ewald, Radish, Anusta, Death Trap, Lynx Markey, Assassin, Colorbow, True Peanut Butter, Alpaca Juice, Peter Shelson, Heck, and SR Fiji, and Leanne. And I'll see you all so soon. Bye-bye.